Well, it's the Champions Trophy. So the world champions have arrived in style. 4, 5, 6 key members not there. Australia says no problem at all. We'll come in style and show the world how it's done. That's what they've done today. Josh Inglis, the hero for them, with 120 not out, ably supported by Carey, 69, and Matthew Short, 63. They've won by 5 wickets. We are back at Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher, and because we had an Aussie keeper who played a very important part, we've got our favourite keeper from down to come up. Parthiv Patel has joined us. Welcome, Parthiv. And of course, Bullseye Bhattacharjya is here, and let's give you a round of applause, Bullseye Bhattacharjya.
Quickly, that's the idea. Quickly do it, then I have a 4-day rest. So, my name will be up there for a while. Yeah.
You'll stay up there, and that's what Australia has done today, Parthiv, because so much has been spoken about. They don't have their key players. The 6 people from their squad are missing. The bowling's a problem. Everything said and done. But Australia comes and says, we are the world champions. We'll show you how it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something which, we spoke about it. But more it was about their bowling than batters. Their batting was always sorted. They had Smith, they had Inglis, Carey. These guys were anyway playing for Australia in one-day cricket. But it was about their bowling. But I thought today, they would have been really happy to restrict England by 351. I thought England had their chance of running away with the game in first inning itself, but they pulled it back. But 351 is never an easy target to chase down. You needed someone to get a big 100, which we saw. You needed someone to play a very quick inning, which we saw from Matthew Short and Alex Carey's partnership. I thought it was brilliant and thought very well paced chase by Australia.
Well, Joy, they're their first win since 2009, the Champions Trophy, and they've done it in style because they've created a record in itself.
No, absolutely. And from 31 for 2 at that time, Jofra Archer is bowling at 148, 149, Mark Wood at 150. They're looking really lethal. From there, that first partnership when Short and Labuschagne sort of pulled it back and sort of counter-attacked, and they really counter-attacked. And after that, of course, the next 2 partnerships, of course, which was, Alex Carey and Inglis, and then, of course, Maxwell. It was really, really well played. Look, it was also a game which was slightly dicey because England knew that Dew is going to come on at some time. They also had their problem that their 5th bowlers between Root and Livingstone. And Bright Carson early up went for runs as well. Yeah. So instead of searching for a 5th bowler, now they're trying to even finish the 4th bowler's overs. So they were struggling. And the other problem was that they knew that spinners would be a problem because Dew is coming in. They must have seen it in practice yesterday.
And that's something Steve Smith spoke about as well. So he knew it getting into the game that there is going to be Dew, and they planned it out very well, Australia.
Yeah, I think that was the case. They knew that England does not have their 5th bowler, and their 5th bowling option is 2 spinners in Livingstone and Joe Root. And their main bowler is Adil Rashid, again a leg spinner, which was going to be anyway difficult to hold ball in the dewy conditions. So, and to be honest, I thought Jofra Archer and Wood bowled really well up front, but the 3rd seamer, Brandon Cars, who's had a very good India tour, but once your 3rd seamer goes for runs, then you cannot attack. You are always on back foot, and that advantage which Australia had, and they took it really well.
Well, Joy, then we have to talk about the hero for Australia because Josh Inglis, very, very smartly, he was counter-attacking from the word go, paced his innings very well, a strike rate of almost 140 there, a perfect.
What a way to get his first one-day international. Look, he's got a test century on debut. He's got a T20 century. See, one of the things that happens in Australia is because they have so many good players in the system who can't come in because of other players out there. I mean, Josh Inglis is almost 30 years old. He's actually led in ODIs, he's led Australia in ODIs, he's led Australia in T20 matches. So he's not a junior player, but it's just that we don't see him that much compared to, because the amount of good players they have. But today he just showed the class he had.
Yes.
And I think the quality with which they batted, the quality at which they counter-attacked, once they knew the Dew would come in, the ball's not going to do very much. I think the early spell of those 2 guys, Wood and Archer, was through. Then it was only a matter of, Adil Rashid. And they knew the rest, they could plunder the bowling, and they just went after them.
BB, we spoke about Josh Inglis and you said how he beautifully used his feet, and we saw that all through the innings. Again, the pacing of the innings, because he just accelerated when it was needed.
Yeah, I think using the feet most of the time, all the time we talk about someone, coming down the wicket and hitting it straight. But Josh Inglis had a different ideas. He's used his feet to depth of the crease. He played so many back foot shots. Whenever Wagonville comes in, you will see a lot of runs being scored square of the wicket. That means that he prefers that kind of leg side. And look at the runs which he scored on square of the wicket. So that's something which it's an evidence of how he has used that crease really well. And someone coming from Australia, someone who's brought up in Perth, you are bound to play that short balls really well. And England bowlers have been guilty of bowling too short anyway. When they had come in on India tour, they were bowling too short to even Indian batters. But when you're bowling short ball to Australians, you can't get away with that. And someone who can play cut shot and pull shot really well.
Well, when you bowl that shot to an Australian, we see what happens because six sixes and 8 fours in his innings.
Not only that, what he said is so important. Both sides of the wicket. 81 runs square of the wicket. 81 runs is a huge number. I mean, if he's 120, you've got 81 runs square of the wicket, it tells you that he's stepping forward. Also, the other abilities that they have now, to be able to reverse it over for 6. I mean, the kind of, we see it now and we've got used to it, but the kind of hand-eye coordination and speed that it requires to hit shots like that, it's absolutely incredible. So I think they've now got, and Zach was talking about in the first innings that Australia knows their bowling is no great shakes. They know they've just got to, whatever the total's up, they've got to do it. And that's why you see somebody like a Maxwell batting at a 7.
Yes.
So when Maxwell bats for you at 7, that means it's a long batting lineup. There's a lot of batting out there. And they executed with whatever means they had, as he said, again, people were saying that 350, if had it been 370, 380, those couple of wickets, maybe the pressure would have been much more. 350, they just got off to that start. After that first 2 wickets off, they just went after them.
And England was in that position to do that.
Absolutely.
They had that chance of going to 375, 380. But their batting has been failing even in India. There is only one batter, thankfully, this time around, Ben Duckett got that 165. Otherwise, on this pitch, you will have to get the opposition out in first inning itself.
No, but you said it in our comm box. You said they'll do this with 2 overs to spare. So they managed 352 with ease because of how Josh Inglis just didn't let the tempo go down. He kept being aggressive about it. He, along with Virupaji now, he's joined him in that league of the fastest century in Champions Trophy with 77 balls. So we saw how he just kept it in 6th gear. People.
See, it is important not to let the run rate go out of your hand. Now with in modern cricket, when we are talking about chasing targets, at least batters are comfortable chasing somewhere around 12 and over, and they know that if it goes beyond that, then they start to take risk which is not their game. Here they kept it in control. It was always around 10-11. That's a reason why they could chase runs. And the other way around also, there was Alex Carey who was playing those big shots. Maxwell came in and kept the tempo going. So someone has to play with that strike rate, and this time it was their set batter who got 100 there.
Joyda, you were sitting with us when we were talking about films with the best ensemble cast. Australia has put up that ensemble cast today because, yes, there was that one hero, but Australia was supported by, of course, Matthew Short, 63, then Labuschagne, 47, Alex Carey with 69, and, of course, Maxwell then with 32.
No, absolutely. Maxwell finished well. Alex Carey, great support out there. But really, for me, the most important innings was actually Short and Labuschagne when they came in, because that situation, 31 for 2, you see 3-4 overs going, suddenly the run rate, required run rate going above 8.5, and they are breathing fire at that point. They're top of the game. That point to counter attack, this was for me a very, very vital partnership. And it's more than a runner ball at a situation when you're chasing 350 and you're 2 wickets down early. And I think this partnership set it up. And I think then English and Alex Carey took it to the next level. Maxwell just finished it off. So it's you're right. It's like a friends kind of batting performance. You have Ross there, you have all of them there. Everybody's Joey is there. Everyone's come to the party.
I wanted to come to that other partnership as well because Carey has almost carried Australia home. First, he was catching all those brilliant catches in the outfield, and then that knock he had. And that beautiful partnership there.
Yeah, he's been scoring runs and he's been going under the radar for a while. Even when in BGT he scored those 50s, crucial 50s for Australia. 50s. And these are two completely different characters. And Alex Carey, always looks in at one kind of an emotion. He he doesn't, even when he got out, there was no emotion on his face. Even when he got that 50, though it was a drop catch, maybe that forced him not to show any emotion. But that's how he has been. There are, for Australia, both of them, both of them would be competing for one place, English and Carey. But Alex Carey probably playing in Sri Lanka, getting those runs, that helps when you've got runs behind your back.
Well, he's come in with that confidence, but in that partnership, Inglis and Carey both scoring 69 runs each. So both with equal importance in the partnership.
No, blistering partnership. And I think the way they played complemented each other. I think the big shots, I think Alex Carey played more of the big shots earlier. But I think towards the end, then Josh Inglis just got in. And if you see the way Josh Inglis accelerated at the end, it's absolutely fantastic. But he's absolutely right. Both of them are actually playing. You look at it this way, if Marcus Stoinis had been not retired, one of them would have been playing.
Yes.
You're almost sure of it. Now both of them have been played, and in the form that both of them have played, now it's going to be very difficult to displace them from that order.
We were talking about this in our pre-match show about England and their bowling with Wood and Archer bowling in tandem. We thought they would put on a better show, PP, but that wasn't meant to be today because even Archer was struggling. It looked like he was injured.
It looked like he was injured, but I think England they did a bit of a course correction while they were batting, but when they came out to bowl, they bowled really good lengths to start with. But as soon as they came under pressure, they went back to those short balls, and those short balls on flat wickets are never going to work. I know Jofra Archer, when he came in to bowl that second spell, he would have been slightly injured, but his normal deliveries were still in higher than 140, 145. Then why do you want to bowl those slow ones? All the boundaries which has gone are on the slow ones. Even if you look at Mark Wood's boundaries which has gone, those are on slower ones. When you have pace, when you are threatening batters with that kind of pace, you can bowl one slower ball in maybe 2 overs. But why do you want to bowl 2 slower ones in 1 over? And Jofra Archer has been doing that consistently throughout India tour, and today also, whenever he's bowled those slower ones, he's been punished for runs.
But people, just on a sluggish track like it was today, isn't sometimes the pace...
When it is slow, when ball stopping on the pitch, you can still do it. But here there was dew, the ball was skidding through. So that's where you don't need... It becomes slightly even more easier to play those shots. When I'm facing Jofra Archer 145, I'm slightly hanging back and then realize that, okay, first ball is slower one. That means that Jofra Archer is thinking defensive. He's not backing his pace. And batters are taking advantage of that.
Joyda, we said the first 5 overs, it looked like England all the way because we were watching it together and we saw Archer come in at 150, Wood come in at 150, Archer at 147, 149. And then suddenly there was just some shift after the 5th over. And Archer just seemed, again, not fully into it. Wood was also constantly falling in his run-up. So it wasn't looking very good for them. And of course, then their 4th bowler had a really off day.
Yeah, Bryden Cast was totally off. See, I think one of the things that would have played in Josh Buttler's mind is when Labuschagne was counter-attacking with short, should he have bought back, at that point, Mark Wood immediately or Archer to get a couple of overs, maybe try for another wicket. At that time, I think what he did was he went defensive. He said, dew is going to come in. Let me finish my 5th over spinners as much as possible. Now, what happens is if Livingston and Root are bowling, they're not threatening you as a batter. You're then thinking, you're not thinking I'm going to get out and what's going to happen now. You're thinking, I may be able to score 5 and over, 7 and over, 8 and over. I'm thinking like that. So my mindset has changed. By the time he now brings back Wood for a couple of overs, by that time these guys are set. And that's what it's all about momentum. And I think he was also stuck. Look, as a captain, if your 4th bowler is going for runs and now you've got 10 more overs, there's a headache on your head, then where are you going to go as a captain? So I think what's also happening is that Buttler is just not getting the bowling resources that he needs to actually make an attack work.
Well, what Buttler was doing was he was looking over to Adil Rashid because he was the only one who was so economical. And every time he was given the ball, he was very economical. A 352 run chase, he's given away only 47 runs and picked up that 1 wicket.
And we are talking about extremely dewy conditions where for a leg spinner to bowl this kind of a spell, 47 runs when batters are in great form. But Adil Rashid is in great form himself. He's had a very good India tour where he's got all the best batters out by virtue of the spin, by just wearing his pace really well, by being brave. That for a leg spinner you have to be brave. I know that someone will hit me for 6, but that's fine. My main variation is I will deceive a batter with the flight. He's not a big turner of the ball. Where he can deceive a batter is by in flight, and that's how he's getting all those wickets. But 47 runs in 10 overs in a condition like this, it's a great spell.
But do you think, again, the problem, Joyda, we've spoken about this, but we keep talking about it because it seems to be repeating itself, is that second spinner, a quality second spinner. Yes, they got the overs out of Livingston and Root, but like you said, they're bowlers that the batter's not threatened by. So is that someone that England's really missing, a second lead spinner?
Definitely they are. I mean, and none of the others, Rehan Ahmed and all, have shown that quality in, at least in one-day international white ball cricket, they don't. Even in Test cricket, they have a couple of bowlers. But here you take a look at this squad also, and it's not as if they have a huge number of options out there. And you look who's there. I mean, there's nobody here. If you look at this squad, there's nobody else. There's not another spinner in the squad.
They don't have quality, and once you don't have a quality, irrespective of condition, you say I will play my best bowlers, and then for them it is the best option to go with all seamers because they don't have a spinner in this squad at all.
See, now what are the options they have? What they can do is they can maybe use take away Bryden Cars, put in Casa Atkinson. That's all they can do. Or Jamie Overton, one of those two.
Correct.
And the other is they can play an extra bowler and say that I'm going to drop one of the bats. They're the only two. I mean, I would under these circumstances, Harry Brooks is doing nothing for me. I'd rather have a fifth bowler and get something out of that. But those are the circumstances they're looking at. I don't think they don't have enough all-rounders, and therefore their basic problem is that if I don't get 10 overs out, then I'm actually playing with 4 bowlers.
Well, the Champions Trophy is a short tournament, so we'll have a quick look at what is happening on that table because South Africa is at the top of the table, Australia at number 2 with a positive run rate there, Joyda. England, of course, have a lot that they have to go back and look into. Very short tournament, so no breathing space at all.
Absolutely. And I think that's what you're going to see. The thing is that also, remember, now if Australia looks fairly dominant, the interesting game will be Australia-South Africa. Because, nobody will want to, assuming India wins tomorrow, nobody will really want to face India in the semi-finals if possible.
Yeah.
They would rather avoid India in the semi-finals. So they would like to come top of the group and actually get one more match to see India. We are, of course, assuming that India will do better. But at this point in time, they look like the favourite. So I think run rate will be less of a factor unless there's a rained out match because it's going to be whoever directly knocks out the other. Now.
In this group, I feel it's going to go down to run rate.
Go down to run rate
in this group.
That means you think South Africa is going to lose to
Australia, South Africa, it's next. England could beat either South Africa.
And you think Afghanistan
can surprise. Yeah, Afghanistan can surprise any side. So I think in this group, I feel it's going to go to
You're going to go to run rate?
In this group.
So that means you have more hopes of the England team than I do, certainly.
Yeah, definitely.
No, but the next game when Australia take on South Africa is going to be a crucial game in this group especially.
Yeah, I mean, for both the teams, they would want to seal their place.
Yes.
Whoever wins it, they would definitely qualify.
That's true,
so that's where they would like to seal that place and then try and look around and see which players we are there in our squad. But yeah, I think next game is going to be very crucial, Australia, South Africa. Well,
one arch rivalry done and dusted today. We all know what is happening tomorrow because that is all that we've been discussing since the Champions Trophy. India take on Pakistan in Dubai tomorrow. It is a big, big game. We have been discussing this. All fans across India, across Pakistan have been discussing this. We'll have a look at the squads first. We'll have a look at India's squad first. They, of course, are getting in with that very, very comfortable win in their last match. Parthiv, any changes you see at all, or do you think we play the same winning combination?
No, I don't think India is going to make any changes. So obviously, there were question mark over why did not India play Arshdeep Singh, but now they've taken that call and they've played Harshit Rana, who did really well. So I don't see India making that kind of a change. And the other talking point was whether Kuldeep Yadav or Varun Chakravarti. So once again, same theory. They have already taken that call. So I don't think India needs to do anything else here. And otherwise, rest of the players, they just pick themselves. So I don't think India is going to go and make any changes tomorrow.
Also, they're playing all their games in Dubai, Joyda. They'll be very sure with all their combinations.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is that the advantage of a left-arm bowler is so much that if they've decided to pick Harshit Rana, they've seen something in the pitch that obviously tells them that this guy is most suited for these conditions. And as we said, Harshit has the most important thing for any cricketer. He's lucky. He always gets wickets. He gets you wickets. So, I mean, they're unlikely to... Varun Chakravarti versus Kuldeep is a is a more tough point, but I think if they've gone with Kuldeep in the first place, and I think the way they are also looking at it, that Varun Chakravarti was a last-minute addition, he's been bought in the end. So if the thought process is always that Kuldeep is a spinner who will give us variation, who give us a different kind of look, compared to what Jadeja does or the others do. So then I think that's what they're looking at. And they've now, this 2 left-arm spinners is what they've gone with, because that 3 all-rounders is what's worked for India. Once you're telling yourself that number 8 will bat, then most of the squad writes itself.
Yeah.
Now you know the fan in me is going to talk, because that always happens at one point in the show. We've seen Shami come back to form with that fifer. He's looked very good with his rhythm. We saw what Rohit Sharma did in the ODI against England. Shubman Gill's looking fantastic. Shreyas Iyer is looking great. It's just Virat Kohli that every Indian fan wants to just see him bounce back. We know what he does against Pakistan. That 6 that he hit off Haris Rauf has stayed in and etched in our memories. Big ticket player, big game. What can we expect from him?
I mean, that's what you want. That's what your big player to come at the party, and Virat Kohli has always done that. And most of the time, when his back is against the wall, he has come back and answered everyone, and that's something which we all can expect. He spent some time in the crease when he was playing against England. He got that 50. Even yesterday, I know it was a day before, it was a scratchy runs, but still he had spent time. So we would all expect Virat Kohli to come in and get that match-winning knock for India.
Well, we also saw him go in and get in the nets today.
Apparently, he spent a couple of hours in the nets, and we saw a lot of footage of that. Look, I think Virat is the kind of guy who will say that I am going to do everything it takes to be ready for tomorrow. And then, if he gets a very good ball or something happens or somebody takes a brilliant catch, any of this can happen. But I think he is trying to put himself in the position where I am as prepared as I can be for this big encounter. And his record against Pakistan has been absolutely outstanding over the years. I mean, it's an unbelievable. He comes up for the big show. He always lands up.
Well, this is that one tick mark that every Indian fan is waiting to check. But for Pakistan, there are a whole lot of tick marks that they want to check. They did not have a good opening game at all. Unfortunately for them, Fakhar Zaman's out because of injury. We'll have a look at their squad. Imam-ul Haq comes in. Parthiv, what is Pakistan going to do? Also the pressure, because this can be a do-or-die game.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an absolute knockout for Pakistan, and then to play a knockout game against India, they're anyway always under pressure when you're playing ICC trophy. So for them, this will be a very, very tough game, and especially they were relying a lot on Fakhar Zaman's form and with the tempo with which he was playing. So Imam-ul Haq comes in. He was not in their plans for as such in ICC tournament, but yeah, Pakistan will definitely be under pressure without a doubt.
Yeah, and they're fantastic fans. They're amazing fans. A lot of them are also real cricket lovers. A lot of Pakistan fans are coming to Dubai just to see Virat Kohli and Pakistan play. There are a lot of Virat Kohli fans in Pakistan as well. And I think, they've got a home tournament after so many years. We know the history of, cricket being played in Pakistan. They've got a home tournament. It'll be really, really sad to see them crash out that early. On the other hand, the opportunities against India look very limited given the kind of squad they have at this point in time. What they need a completely errorless game. Yeah. They need a game which they play, everybody delivers exactly what they have to. That means the fast bowlers get their wickets up front, the middle overs bowlers contain, their batting strikes, Babar Azam hits form, somebody finishes for them well. They need everything they need to tick every box off to do it right. And it's a big ask of them, but yeah.
And to go with that, they would want everything to go wrong for India as well. Yeah. If something also goes right, then India could win this game.
But PB, you were talking about the net run rate in that other group. Pakistan's going to look at that net run rate and not want to look at it because of the massive loss they had to New Zealand by 60 runs. So they will want everything to go right for them, and even more because of their net run rate.
Yeah, before that, they would want that points to be filled with 2, and then we'll think about what's happening with net run rate.
Next column, third column, to fill correct.
First, we'll talk about the third column and then about 4. But yeah, that's something which always stays on my mind when you are playing Champions Trophy, when margin of error is almost none, and when you've lost a game by 60 runs, so you have to come back stronger with other teams to not do well and all of that. But before everything else, they'll have to get their A game on on the ground, win their first game, and then see what happens from there.
Also, one other thing, the only advantage they have, the only plus point going for them is the monkey is not on their back. Given what has happened, nobody is expecting them to really do well. India is looked on as the overwhelming favourite. So they will be playing much more freely, because really, if they lose, it's not very unexpected. And so we are hoping for a spirited performance. And, sometimes, at one time, this part of the world, the Gulf used to be a place where India didn't like to play. Of course, now that record has changed totally. Yes. But yeah, they'll be hoping that, they get inspired.
I think it'll be a one-sided game either side.
All right.
There won't be a tight game. It'll be a one-sided game.
His prediction today did come true when he said 2 overs to spare. So he's not giving us the side.
Let us have one tight game here. Every game is...
No, this one today was at least relatively tight.
Just like
2.5 overs left. Yeah. Guys, your standards are really dropping. I'm sorry, you guys think...
I mean, from 32 overs, ODI games are getting over 32 and 35 overs is at least gone to the 48.
So for cinema and for this tournament, you want India-Pakistan game too.
Yeah.
But that'll disappoint you tomorrow.
He's already told us. He's decided, boy.
No, he's decided, but he very conveniently didn't complain when the IPL final was one-sided. We wonder why that didn't happen. No. But we will get back to tomorrow's key players to watch out for, because your predictions, both of you all have been getting correct.
For me, I mean, India, my key for India definitely... Look, India is a batting-heavy team. For me, it's Rohit. Up front, Rohit needs to has got runs. Rohit, more than getting runs, I think what Rohit does very well for India is he attacks.
Yes.
And he attacks, he sets a particular tone, he sets a particular run rate, and that India keeps that run rate going. They're very successful. That's our formula. So definitely Rohit Sharma for India. For Pakistan, Shaheen Shah Afridi. Because their only chance of doing well against India is to get early wickets. They need top-order batters out. If he can knock over a couple of top-order batters, that's the only way the Indian juggernaut can be stopped.
For me, Virat Kohli. I think he is someone who does really well against Pakistan, someone who always stands up in a big game, and obviously it's about time also for Virat Kohli to play that match-winning knock, the kind of player which he is. And for Pakistan, again, Babar Azam, someone again a great player. He has not won a big game for Pakistan, so for him also it's about time that if Pakistan has to win, Babar Azam has to score that 150. It's fine if he scores 150 balls, but he has to score that 150.
Well, Parthiv Patel has said it. For every Indian fan and every Pakistani fan, this is what we want. We want Virat Kohli to come into great form and Babar Azam to come into great form. It is going to be a very, very exciting day, but we will leave all the other chatter for tomorrow and get straight away to Mr. Bhattacharya's question. And PP, you can try it because you have to warm up for tomorrow.
You'll know this one.
You have to warm up for tomorrow.
He made his first-class debut against his state team in 2005. 20 years later, he has guided that state team, the team he has played against. He guided that state team to the Ranji Trophy final. Who is this?
Oh, it must be from your team.
2015 is not...
2005?
No, I said it must be Gujarat's team.
And now?
And now, this year, his team is in the final.
It could be Kerala or it could be... It is at Kerala. No.
Kerala, because
Sachin Baby.
No, his first match was against this team.
Against Vidarbha?
Against whichever. If it's... so think about it.
Sachin, I said Sachin Baby.
He said Sachin.
Okay,
it's not Sachin Baby?
It's not Sachin Baby because the first time he was not playing for Kerala.
Oh,
he played against them and now he's playing for them 20 years later.
Jalaj Saxena.
There you are.
There you have it.
Take a look. Jalaj Saxena, absolutely. Absolutely.
He had to decode the
my framing was confusing, but once he got it, that he wasn't playing
for the team.
Played against Kerala and then 20 years later he played for them. And just actually 20-year careers also, there are not that many domestic cricket players. So Jalaj immediately, he knows.
And then he's been an absolute stalwart in Ranji Trophy cricket. 600 wickets, so many runs, so many wickets. Very unfortunate not to play for India, but he's been a great server.
Well, besides Parthiv Patel, let's have a look at who else has gotten it correct today.
Tanmay Chakravarti,
He's one of Joyda's handles.
He's back.
No, I wish he's he can't be one of my handles because He's a medical college student and I faint at the sight of blood. So he can't be, whatever other persona I would take, I wouldn't take a medical college student.
Well, now that he doesn't want to have anything to do with medicine, what he has done today perfectly well, Bullseye Bhattacharya. Let's have a look at the table. Oh, there you have Virendra Sehwag still sitting up happy there.
No, Seva, Viru has hit it again today, right?
Oh, Joyda is, we're all at 33
No, Viru
points.
is not hit bullseye today.
Viru, huh?
Viru is not hit bullseye.
No,
But he got it correct.
yesterday.
He got one correct.
He got one correct.
Yeah.
One correct today.
Bullseye doesn't get extra points. You just get the right-hand side points which don't really matter.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's a net run rate that doesn't matter, like you said. It's about getting the wins in.
He wins in, yeah.
You got a win in today as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so we all three are winners today, which is
all
great.
winners.
Yeah.
It's
Cricket is
great.
a winner.
Cricket-
Inshallah, the boys played well. Cricket is the winner.
Cricket is the ultimate winner at the end of the
Cricket is
day.
the winner.
Cricket is the winner, but we don't want to keep anyone holding because tomorrow is a very, very big day. Parthiv Patel is also known as Party Patel. So even though there's a big day, he will be out partying.
Resting.
It's a Saturday night.
It's a Saturday
It
night.
doesn't matter. I'm resting. You guys have just spoiled my name.
I know.
We've got-
His family watches these shows.
Yeah.
And says, every night you tell us you've gone to sleep.
Yeah, and I told them good night. Oh, you're telling us good night and you're going somewhere else.
He knows all the best restaurants in Mumbai. For any Mumbai recommendation restaurants, you know who to ask. And of course, Joy Bhattacharya is leaving us with a bullseye and he is going away tomorrow and you'll be joining us soon, very soon. So thank you so much for today. Thank you for coming up.
Yeah.
Because it's always good
It's a
to have you on
promotion.
the red
One
shirt.
floor he's
Yes.
come up. He's
And practicing for tomorrow.
For tomorrow, because he joins us tomorrow, and I hope that all of you join us tomorrow because it is a very, very exciting game. We will be here at 2 o'clock. That's all we have time for right now. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.